Hey everyone! Today I'm here with Mirko, our October Trader of the Month winner, who would like to tell us a little bit about his experience with our training program. Hi Mirko, how are you?
Hey, hello, good evening. Very good, thank you. Hope you are too.
Yes, absolutely. So, first I'd like to ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do and your hobbies?
Okay, so my name is Mirko Adami. I'm 26 years old and I'm an entrepreneur. I started a company 2 years ago. I run and own it, and this company is called Billiard Italy, and it's based in Verona, Italy. We build modern, luxurious billiard tables that can be converted into dining tables. So it's a unique niche product in the furniture industry. We founded the company 2 years ago, and it's going very well. And I'm very passionate about it. You know, I come from a family that works in this industry, and we've revolutionized it, so to speak, by focusing more on design than anything else. In short, we're creating something new and exciting in that respect, too.
Oh, that's great. That's a great challenge.
Oh, yes, now I like challenges.
Yes, yes, you can see that very well. And what problem did you have before you joined our program?
Well, let's say that the business itself is doing pretty well. Economically, everything was fine anyway. The problem was that the idea of having just one financial income that depends on just one thing, it exposes you to risk. So I was always looking for a plan B, or at least the possibility of creating something that didn't always depend on me. So when I discovered the potential of systematic trading, where the time investment is minimal compared to what you can achieve with it, I immediately fell in love with the idea of slowly, let's say, alongside my main job, developing something that I then realized was very serious and also very interesting in the long term. So to say, I'll learn it right away. I'll start doing it until at some point, who knows, maybe it becomes my primary income, or at least a side hustle that allows me to say, I'm taking a little time off from my job. I have more free time. And in short, that was the ultimate goal. The fundamental problem was just that I was too anchored in one job, which in some way made me too exposed to risk. So this is an idea I've had for a long time because I've always liked trading. I just had to find the right path to suit me in the long term. In short, I had to dedicate time to learning it well and in a serious way.
I understand. Basically, you have to diversify in life.
Yes, that's crucial.
And why did you choose our program among the many trading programs available in the market?
Okay, so I'll tell you. Well, let's say that as with everything I've done in my life, I'm kind of self-taught in the sense that my educational background has nothing to do with what I do in my life. So I've always studied and I've always been passionate about trading. And I started as a self-taught trader 5 to 6 years ago when I started to approach the subject. I've read a few books, but I've never taken any courses because I've always made fun of the guru phenomenon who sell courses where they promise that you will earn 1000% per month and the course costs €100. And unfortunately, most courses are like that. I mean, 95% are gurus who sell cheap courses and make astronomical profits. And being an entrepreneur and knowing the value of an asset, I'm like, yeah, but if you're making all these profits on your trading, why would you sell a course for 100 to €200? So I never took courses for that reason. And the reason that I decided to join Unger Academy is because it costs more. And I said, if Andrea Unger is a trader who makes percentages, has won championships, has made such percentages, it's obvious that he doesn't give away his courses. So when I saw the cost, I said, well, then maybe this is something I can invest in. Because unlike time, which you cannot get back and recover in any way, you can get the money back, but you still have to dedicate some time to it. And then when I saw that he had results that were backed by proof, like the victories in the 4 championships he had in trading, I realized he knew what he was doing. And that was the reason why I chose him. I had no other competitors that I could ever have evaluated. And I'd never considered taking a trading course because I'd never found anything reputable. And this seemed like a reputable course to me. So that was the assessment that I made.
Okay, thank you. Can you tell us a little bit, Can you tell us a little bit about your Trader of the Month win in October?
Well, yes. I also spoke with a lot of coaches who were all very surprised. I mean, I've been live since July, so I've been practicing for 5 months. They were all a bit surprised by this result. Me too, actually. I didn't expect to get such results. But what I want to say, which is very simple, is that I'm not a geek or a computer genius, so it's not like I've programmed a winning or amazing trading system. I relied on the $1 million database and a few strategies that I selected and created, but always using the library that's all already included in the Power Language editor. And I didn't bother with programming, so I didn't do anything special, except carefully select the best strategies, which I did manually, and not using Titan. In fact, I've yet to get started with the Titan software, and I haven't used it yet for my strategies, since they are about 20. So I chose the strategies that inspired me the most, let's say, maybe even sometimes making some little mistakes. However, in this case, it brought me good results. And it's bringing me good results this month as well, so perhaps that's okay. But let's say one can always improve. One thing that has helped me get higher profits is maximizing margin utilization. I was advised at the beginning to calculate the overnight margins for each strategy and then be sure that I'm always in the margin. But in practice, and these are the things that you learn when you throw yourself into the market and see what happens, I've found that the strategies really all work together. And so I overloaded the portfolio to a certain extent. In other words, I exposed myself a bit more. But I never reached the margin call, let's say. I didn't even get close to it. But by using many more strategies, my results went up a lot more. And more importantly, I diversified more. Because where you might have 20 strategies with, let's say, 30,000 euros, I have 30. And yes, it could be that if I happen to open them all together, I might go to the margin limit. But it isn't that easy. I've rarely seen that happen. So I've made the most of all the strategies in my portfolio. And that's why I have a low drawdown, because they work in synergy and they help each other. The ones that go well can make up for the losses of the ones that go badly. And so the drawdown is always controlled. However, when they all do well together, then you make the big numbers. And so that's it, nothing special. I just used what's already available on the platform. I didn't do anything out of the ordinary.
But with the selection...
Right. Well, for that, see, you have to figure out how to pick them. I mean, when you look at them, you have to look at them one by one. You open the charts and see if you like the equity line, if the average trade is large enough, if the historical performance is satisfactory. I always look at 1 year of historical results first to figure out the consistency of the strategy. And then I look at the last year, because after all, every year is different. So if a strategy has done well for 10 years, but has been negative for the previous 2 years, I don't consider it. I put it aside and wait until it recovers. Maybe when the market's changing, and so it's time to change. That never happens overnight. However, you can do it every month or every other month and keep an eye on them. And of course, Titan should do this task for me too, but as long as I don't have to trade with €1 million, it's easy to do it manually in that sense. And also because it's fun. And that's the coolest part for me. Usually you have to watch what the strategies do. You don't have to do anything. And it's nice when you have to take one in your hands and say, should I put this one on the team or not? And then you do all the proper evaluations.
Great, Mirko. Okay, is there anything in particular in our program that helped you?
Yeah, definitely money management in general and risk management more in detail. Because whenever I've traded in the past, I've always skipped over that part. So from the very beginning, I like the risk control and diversification, which I take very seriously.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And what results have you achieved after applying what you've learned from the program and the different modules?
Well, like I said, I more or less went live in July. So the first 2 months were a bit of a test because I had just finished the program, the short program called From Zero to Trader in 8 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I've been doing well because I've made a plus 4% in the first month and negative 3% in the second month. But after that, I had a much better start when I finished the program at 100%, and now I'm at plus 45% profit.
Wow, great.
Yeah, and in 5 months, that's very interesting. Let's put it this way. Once you put it into practice, well, I was pretty lost at the very beginning. I understand the newbies. When I started, getting started with the platform isn't straightforward, so you must deal with something that is new. In the past, I traded on MetaTrader, which is a bit easier. If you go into multi-charts and have this open on one side and TradeStation on the other, I mean, yeah, you lose track a little bit and get discouraged because you're like, but what do I have to deal with here? Then once you understand the basics a little bit, well, it does become easier than it looks.
Yes, even if you practice and try a little, you'll understand more.
Right.
And how has your life changed since you've achieved these results? Not just economically, but also in awareness.
Well, economically, it hasn't made a massive difference for now, in the sense that we're still talking about thousands of euros of profit. Hence, they can help. But it's more of a peace of mind to say, well, I've found the serious path that I can pursue in the long term. I've been looking for this for years, and I know that I can invest time and dedication and focus on it. So it's really changed my perspective. And now I can say, oh, okay, I'm glad I have my business. I'll keep it forever. But in the meantime, I know I can build something solid on this side.
Great. Where do you think you'd be now if you hadn't chosen our program?
I'd certainly be constantly looking for another solution. I might be at the same level as I am now, but still looking for something that could give me exactly the consistency that this path can be in the long run. So I'm glad that I decided to take it. And yeah, that's it.
We're very glad about that as well. And last question. What would you say to those who are watching this interview and are perhaps still undecided whether they should join the program or not?
Well, it's a difficult decision because, it's a financial commitment, right? But if someone has an entrepreneurial or risk-taking mindset, they know that they need money to make certain decisions. And to return to what I said at the beginning of this interview, if you want to do something well, you must invest time and money in it. And that's why I recommend this program to everyone, because you can start with little, but you know that it can bring you a lot in the long run. And you're sure that you're doing, in short, a serious thing, which is studying. And if you study, of course, if you pursue it seriously. So I know this is a decision that everyone must make for themselves. But I'd advise everyone to get over fear and get into it as soon as possible, because I know many traders who told me that they spent years on the theory. I bought the program in March, and by July I was already live. And by November, I was at a return of plus 45%. I could still be there learning because I want to know everything perfectly. But if you don't get practical too, you get tired of it, don't you? Why keep taking courses if you never see results and never go live? You get bored. One piece of advice I give everyone, even those who may have just started, is to go live as soon as possible. With little capital, of course, because it's safer if you make a mistake. I too made a mistake in my first month and made negative 5%. Nothing serious, but I did it with maybe $5,000. If I were to do it now, it might be riskier. So to go live with even a small capital helps you a lot to see what happens and learn how to trade properly.
Very good. Thank you very much, Mirko. I also hope to see you as a winner in the coming months.
Oh, I hope so too. Many thanks to you. And thank you very much for the interview. I really enjoyed it. And we'll definitely talk again soon.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Have a good evening too.